School holidays here at the moment, so I've got kids running in and out of the house. We've got dogs barking, and the rain's pissing down at the moment. So, it's a great time to talk about turnover. And I don't mean the pastry kind. I mean that we just lost another good person and we're scrambling around kind. Now, if you're not tracking what's actually or what that's actually costing your business, then spoiler alert, you're probably bleeding cash and calling it normal. Now, I'm going to show you our turnover calculator just now. So I'm going to flick to that at the moment so you can have a little look at it. This is what we've developed, and it's simple, it's sharp, and it tells you in dollar and cents what's walking, or rather, what the cost of someone leaving you is and what it means for your bottom line. Now, it really surprises me that most companies underestimate the cost of turnover by a lot, and I'm not talking by a few dollars, by sometimes millions. They usually count a recruiter fee, maybe the cost of a job ad, and that's it. They think that's the cost of hiring. But they forget about the cost of onboarding, and they also forget about the time it takes to train someone new and how long it takes them to build their confidence and their performance. Now, this calculator factors in all of that. We've been using it with clients for the last few months, and it's really been a serious wake-up call for HR and executive teams that we work with. Now, you don't need to be a data nerd to use it. You just plug in a few numbers, a few little things, and boom, presto, it gives you a real-world estimate of what turnover is costing you right now. Now, if you're serious about people and profits and you want to stop guessing, then have a crack at it. It might just be the wake-up call that your CEO or executive team needs. It might be the kick up the arse that you can use to get their support for your people strategies and show them the potential savings that you could be making with them. So use the calculator, share the results. We're going to show you how in our or rather our turnover masterclass, which happens later this month. But I'll take you through how to use it right now. It's really simple. First off, you whack in your annual average salary. So in Australia, it's about 100K just now. The tooltips will guide you through this. It's about 100K right now for the average full-time salary in Australia. So let's say your people are paid that on average. And then we pop in your turnover rate. So let's say it's 15%. That's the percentage of people leaving you each year. You pop in the number of employees that you have. So let's say it's 500, and then the cost of hiring an employee. So this is the full cost of advertising, of recruitment, of agency fees, of interviews, basically an estimate of what that is. You might have the specific figure. If you do, pop it in. We've given you some industry averages that our research shows for different types of roles. So tech roles are about 50K it costs per person. For manufacturing, about 15K. And there's a few different ones there that might give you a guide. So let's say it's 15K it costs you to hire a person. And let's say on average it costs you about $5,000 to onboard, train, give this person equipment and whatever they need, uniforms, travel, to get them onboarded. The next one is time to reach full productivity. So that is an estimate of the amount of time that it takes someone to perform at their best in that role and start returning on that investment. So we worked this out in the last organization I was with. A sales professional would take about 9 months to get to full productivity, 9 to 12 months. I think we got it quite specific in the end, but it's around the 9 to 12 month mark. You might know what it is in your organization. If you do, whack it in. If you don't, our tooltips will give you a bit of a guesstimate based on industry averages. So sales professionals, it does take around that, those high impact roles. Other mid-level, we're talking about 3 to 6 months. But for the sake of our this example, I'll put in 3 months just now, and then you can see presto your results. This is the number of people leaving you each year, 75, based on how many people you have and your annual turnover. And this is the cost per employee. So it's costing you 45 grand every time someone walks out the door to replace them, which is an extortionate cost, particularly if you multiply that by the 75 people that are leaving each year. That takes you to 3.375 million. Now, this is the number I was talking about before, that a lot of people underestimate how much it actually costs each year. So if that's your annualized average turnover each year, then it's costing you that each year. Now, the next step you're probably going to think about is what happens if we reduce that. We've built in a little estimator here. So you can put in your reduction. So say you wanted to take that 15% each year in annualized average turnover. Yes, got it right. You want to take that down to 13%. That's how much you'd be saving. So you'd be taking that 3.375 mil down by 450,000 by reducing your turnover from 15 to 13%. Now, let's say you're bold and you think you've got some great strategies in your mind and you want to take that from 15 to 10. It would save you 1.125 million. Now that's a great case, great for a business case as to why we should do the things that I want to do. Or it's a great case if you want a pay rise as well. This is how much I'm saving the company each year, when of course it does pay off and you can quantify uh, those results. Or this is how much I reckon we should be reinvesting each year, a portion of this sum that I'm saving. So it's a great thing there when you want to talk to execs about the costs so they know, and then also what the potential savings could be as a result of your great strategies. Now, the last thing is, if you want to reduce your turnover costs and you want to talk to some experts and people that have been there and done it and helped companies reduce their turnover with real clients, then whack this button. We'll chat to you for 15 minutes and we'll share as much advice as we can give you. So, yeah, cheers for listening. Hopefully that helps you. Hopefully it helps you get that nice pay rise or a couple of things across the line, or at the very least, just help you get a full picture of what turnover is really costing you. Cheers.